All right, guys. Yeah, here we go. It is time to do our recap from last week. And look, here's the thing. Tony won, beat me. It is what it is. We both had terrible weeks. We're the two lowest scoring teams in the league. Tony's got had a much better looking team than me heading into this thing. I was starting DeAndre Swift and Zamir White, and that's just not good, not at all. Our quarterbacks combined for a little over 6 fantasy points between Jalen Hurts and Anthony Richardson. Just a putrid display. We combined for 5 touchdowns between the two of us, and 4 of them came from Tony's team. So, as you might have seen, I've made wholesale changes to the roster. I am not going to field that team again. That was brutal. One of the worst weeks I've ever had in this league, and it will not happen again. Now, congratulations, Tony, on once again getting a win with an extremely low score, which is how he eked his way into the playoffs last year. He's like the new Joe. He just plays great defense. Tony's got the steel curtain, guys. I just couldn't break through. So we got the Beta Boys versus Worthy of Our Trust, and Jason clobbered Trey. Jason has built himself quite a roster here. Derrick Henry's an animal. Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase. That was fantastic. We all knew it was going to be. They were playing the Commanders. We knew that was a get-right spot. On Trey's side of things, it's time to start worrying about any Jacksonville Jaguar, and that includes Travis Etienne. That team is in disarray. They suck. They're terrible. Trey needs Kenneth Walker back. Kenneth Walker should be back this week. So that would be a big help. CJ Stroud, not really lighting it up, not really putting up fantasy points. He's averaging about 12 points a week. Not going to get it done. So, maybe Trey float some offers out there. Let's see if we can get some trades done here. Now you look at Jared versus Paul here, and again, not close. Jared clobbered him, and I got to give a special shout out to Steve NN for giving Jared shit about picking up and starting Jawan Jennings, who just had the highest receiver score of the season this week. He scored 35.5 fantasy points, absolutely decimated the Rams. In fact, that was the highest score any player but Kamara has had this season. Jared just plucked him out of free agency. Genius move from Jared. Turns out the Panthers are not an offense to stream against. It looks like the Vegas Raiders defense got clobbered by them. The Houston defense kind of sucks, Paul. I don't know what to tell you. They had a good game against the Bears. So what? Everybody does. Other than that, they suck. Jacoby Myers. I can't believe Paul rolled out Jacoby Myers and it worked out to 14.2 points. This season is wild. Another one I didn't see coming, Tony Pollard with a really rough effort. I was liking what I was seeing out of Tony Pollard. Rough effort. Paul's another guy that's probably going to have to do something here. Or he'll just sink to the bottom like a rock. It's up to you. I mean, you guys see how I operate. I lose 2 games in a row, everybody's gone. I'm nuking the roster, and I'm going to continue to do that until I start winning. Now, we look at Steve pummeling Kevin, who's obviously was a flash in the pan. Kamara volumed his way to 12 points. Again, he was okay in this one. I expect this to be more of the norm for Kamara. He's going to get – I was wrong about him, to be clear. I thought he would be like a back-end RB2. Kamara is clearly a back-end RB1 just on the sheer volume. And when he scores a touchdown, he's going to be a high-end RB1. So congratulations, you got me on that one, Kevin. You look at – Kevin made some changes to his team, but got to start to be in a full-scale panic about Travis Kelce. And really the entire tight end position. This really applies to everybody. So not just Kelce, but really there's no tight end right now that I feel good about. There's none of them that I would plug into my lineup and be like, hell yeah, I'm playing Brock Bowers or Trey McBride or Sam Laporta or Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews. They all suck, all of them. So on Steve's side of things, absolutely monstrous effort from Josh Allen last night. Jonathan Taylor dominated the Bears as I thought he would. The big highlight here, though, is Malik Neighbors is legit, guys. This guy is a top 10 wide receiver rest of season. Should have been drafted probably in the second round ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr. We all missed on that one. Congratulations, Steve, to being the only 3-0 team. Kevin, you have a lot more losses in your future. So there you go. Now we got Joe versus Senior in the Senior Bowl. Senor Tortuga loses by 6, and he was ahead by 1 with less than 2 minutes to go in the final game of the week. And then the Bengals decided to get Zach Moss involved finally. And Zach Moss scored about 9 of his 15.7 points within the last 2 minutes in garbage time in a game that they were already out of. That's a shitty way to lose. Again, Joe, back to Joe's roots, he's usually the tough defense. And that's what ended up happening here. Joe essentially very lucky this week to escape with the W. And, Rashid Shaheed, interesting guy. Like he makes his money on deep bomb touchdowns. But as we saw this week, if he doesn't get it, he's capable of a 0. I don't know how you feel good about throwing that guy into your lineup when he can just do a 0. I thought Mike Evans was, one of the more obvious bust spots this week, facing Patrick Surtain, who's one of the few corners that shadows. I really thought the Dolphins were going to pace Jalen Ramsey to DK Metcalf, and they did for most of the game. They didn't early on, and they allowed DK to have a 71-yard touchdown. After that, DK Metcalf essentially did nothing because they put Jalen Ramsey on him, which he should have been the entire game, and then DK Metcalf would have done nothing the entire game, which is what I thought was going to happen. So, Joe, you put a question mark on why I thought that was a weird trade for you. That's why. I thought that it was just 2 really bad matchups. DK overcame it. Mike Evans didn't. That was the difference in your matchup, was essentially that one play. Sucks to lose like Senior did. But, he only scored 79 points, so that's on him. So there you go, guys. That's the recap for week 3. I'll see you Thursday with the matchup previews. It's going to be a fun, interesting week. Lots of changes to a lot of lineups going on. I'll see you guys Thursday.